Well, Devils fans, we announced one half of the dynamic duo last week. I guess the terrible trio if you throw in Joey Martin, and now delighted to bring back the one remaining piece. It's early in the morning, so thank you for joining us. Trevor Cox, how are you? And welcome back to the Devils.
Thanks, JD. Yeah, no, I'm doing good, and obviously excited to be back.
So, first of all, how's the summer going? Because I've seen some beautiful locations on backdrops on these calls. It looks like a great room you're in. But whereabouts are you, and how's the summer going?
Right now, I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, and the summer's been good. Been able to go on a couple trips with buddies, go home and see the family back in Vancouver, and yeah, no complaints on my end. The summer's been great.
So Trevor, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Cole last week. And I kind of mean this obviously in a delighted way. We were hoping you guys would be back in Cardiff, but we figured you get offers and opportunities elsewhere. Such was your play last year and over the course of the last couple of years. What's brought you back to Cardiff for the third time?
Yeah, I mean, after both seasons, obviously you like to see what's out there. Um, But it's no secret that in Cardiff they treat us great, and it's a great group of guys, and it's a lot of fun coming to the rink. And I feel like we have built something the past couple of years. I know some things haven't gone the way we have wanted to, but we've been building something really fun, and it's really exciting coming to the rink in Cardiff. And like I said, the guys are great, and um, when Todd expressed the interest of bringing back not only myself but some other guys. At the end of the day, it just made sense, and I'm really happy and excited to get back there in August.
So, without putting words in your mouth, but it sounds as though there's a little bit of unfinished business in Cardiff. Obviously, you are a playoff champion from the first year. Last year, lost unfortunately in the final. The league, you've been there, but not quite there. Do I sense there's that little bit of chip on your shoulder to really get this team over the line?
Yeah, I think when you go into any season, you want to win as many trophies as possible. Um, we're in the entertainment business and the sports business, and that's not always possible, but that's always the goal. So definitely coming into this year, we'd like to win. We'd like to win a little bit more than we have been the past couple of years. But like I said, we've been it's a process, and we've been building towards something special, and hopefully in this third year for myself, um, we can really we can really make things click, and hopefully bring a couple trophies back to Cardiff. Obviously, we'd like to win all four trophies that are up for grabs this season, but um, yeah, we'll see what happens. I know it's a great group of guys, and everyone's really hungry, and everyone wants to win. So it should be a fun year.
Before we get back on the serious devil questions, can I just ask you one throwaway question? Because I always, look at your stats every summer. And I grew up, a UK boy starting to watch ice hockey in the late 80s. And you watch Slapshot and you watch Youngblood and you hear about places and you hear about Medicine Hat. And you played in Medicine Hat for quite a while in the WHL. Just because I've got a picture of what Medicine Hat is like in my head, what was that experience like?
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Messinat. I mean, I feel like the core group of guys we had in Messinat the 4 or 5 years I was there, that everyone would say the same thing. It's a smaller city. The people there are great. They're really nice, and they're really passionate hockey fans. Um, we played in an old rink. It wasn't anything too fancy, but the atmosphere was incredible, and um, I know for myself, I had great billets there, and the whole experience over the 4 or 5 years there was just amazing. Some of the best times of my life, and um, yeah, it was just a really enjoyable experience in Medicine Hat.
And thank you for indulging me on that one. Okay, let's go back to Devils related things, and it's wrong to kind of always link you with Cole Sanford. You're fantastic individual players in your own right, but obviously you guys have a special relationship on and off the ice. I would imagine. Just let us into that a little bit, and how much fun it is when you guys link up on the ice.
Yeah, yeah. I think people have kind of always looked at us a bit as a duo just because we've played on so many teams together growing up. I think we are different players and we both do different things well. Um, Off the ice, it's been pretty cool. I mean, we've been able to grow up together and go through junior hockey together, go through college hockey together, get a degree together, and then move on to pro hockey. So it's a pretty special bond that we've been able to create and grow over the years, and it's definitely one of the big reasons why I think we both decided to come back this year. It's not every day you get to play with a good buddy for this long, and I think that's super special.
I've always been a huge fan of players who can see the whole ice, and I've always tended to go towards playmakers as my favorite kind of players, and obviously that's what you are. You can light the lamp, but you tend to be a guy that creates opportunities for others, and has that great peripheral vision and 360 view of the ice. Is that natural, Trevor? Is it something you work on? How do you kind of become a playmaker?
Yeah, I would say it's more natural. I mean, there is some things you can work on, but I think a lot of it comes down to hockey IQ and just being able to read the ice and the game. Um, you know, Obviously over the years I've been playing with Cole for so long, and he's more of a shooter, so I think naturally I've had to kind of develop into more of a passer, and that's fine with me. I mean, um, but I think there are times where I can be a little bit more selfish and shoot the puck a little bit more. But I mean, it comes down just to instincts and reading the game, and um, those natural instincts of playing hockey. So I think just over my development and over my years of playing hockey, that has just naturally become a big part of my game.
You kind of answered my next follow-up question there. There's not much to kind of improve on your game, Trevor. We've been indebted to have you in Cardiff the last couple of years. But if there was something, would you kind of maybe like to be a bit more selfish when the puck's on your stick?
I think so. I mean, yeah, every year I've always had whoever's coaching me saying, you got to shoot more, you got to be a little bit more selfish. Um, and I do recognize that there's definitely points in a game when you do need to shoot instead of making that extra pass. And I think as a group, as a team last year, we might have struggled with that a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a really fast game, and when you're in those moments, you kind of just let your hockey instincts take over, and so it's easier to sit here and say I want to be more selfish and I want to shoot the puck more, but when when you have the puck on your stick and you only have a second to get it off or make a pass, it's hard to say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, because like I said, you kind of just let your hockey instincts take over. So it is something that I focus on, and I will try to implement this year, just shooting a bit more. But yeah, that's kind of my game in a nutshell.
One of the other things that's unique to you, and what I really enjoy watching about your game, Trevor, and I'm not trying to kind of get you in trouble with referees or what have you, but as a smaller guy, you got great hands, you can make plays. If somebody hits you or gets in your face, you're not afraid to give a little bit back.
Yeah, I think just growing up over the years, I've always been a smaller guy, and bigger guys try and get in your face a little bit, get you off your game, and I've never been kind of shy to stand up for myself and whatnot. I know the first year in Cardiff, I think I might have gotten into things a little bit more than last year, but I think there's a time and a place for that, and I think when you do stand up for yourself, it kind of lets guys know that they can't just take liberties on you every night, and I think it also shows guys on your own team that you don't always need the big guys to come in and babysit you, and you can handle things on your own, which I think does a lot for the locker room and the guys in that room. So I think I also think it's kind of fun, gets the emotions into the game and gets you into the game for sure. So I've always been into that side of into that side of the game a little bit.
Good to know, and I'll try and stay on your good side. Just a couple more, Trevor, and I want to make sure I phrase this the right way. It must have been enjoyable for you, Joey, and Cole last year that kind of you were the go-to line, and there was contributions from other people, of course, but you guys were the go-to line. That must have been fun. But are you looking forward this year as you see the roster develop that maybe there is that sharing of the load and secondary scoring that you can see?
Yeah, yeah. I think last year just how things panned out. I mean, we had some injuries and we had some guys, maybe not playing the best at certain points in the season to where they would want to be. Um, I think it's important though to recognize that we had some great players last year. I mean, we had some guys that really were really great hockey players, and guys like Brody Reed. It's tough to see him move on. He was a great player, and he was important to that locker room. And even guys like Ryan Penny, they brought a lot to the team, and it's tough to see those guys move on. But it is exciting. On the flip side, it's exciting to see the guys that Todd and Pete and Franny have brought in. Guys with obviously good resumes and guys who are good hockey players. And I think there's always a little bit of an adjustment coming into the IHL, and even I went through it. It's tough playing every game like it's a game 7 and getting up for a Wednesday game in Fife. It's tough, and knowing that you need to win this game after traveling and whatnot. So I think there are adjustments, but it is exciting. Obviously, the guys they've announced, they're great hockey players, and we're really excited for this year.
So you mentioned Pete Russell there, and I've asked a lot of guys on these interviews, particularly returning guys, about their influence on the leadership group and the locker room. But you were front and central to that leadership group, wearing an A. Kind of what conversations you've had with Pete about the season ahead, and you're a soft-spoken guy, but a determined guy. How much pride do you take in being an intrinsic part of the leadership group?
Yeah, I enjoy it, and I'm honored to wear a letter for that team. You know, I think we have a lot of guys on the team as well who don't wear a letter but lead in different ways. Um, I've said it a couple of times in interviews, but I really learned a lot from guys like Brendan Mickelson and Steven Dixon my first year. They both kind of led in different ways. Mickelson was just an absolute pro, and I was able to room with him on the road and just kind of learned a lot from him and watched what he did. And then, just with Steven Dixon, just how he brought everybody together and was so light in the room and, was so welcoming to the younger guys. I learned a lot. So I try to take what those guys did and pass it on a bit and lead by example. And then obviously when you have guys in the room like Richie and Marty, the two perfect humans, it's pretty easy just to follow behind them and get in line. And I think it just comes back to just the group of guys that have come and gone with Cardiff. They're always good guys, and the culture that has been created there since a long time ago, since Richie started and since Marty started, and even guys like Batchy and Bouncy, they've been there for so long. And they've really created a great culture. So it's so fun coming to the rink, and when you coming in the morning and you see Richie and Marty, like I said, just doing the right things, it's pretty easy to be a leader, and I think we have lots of leaders in that room.
That's good to hear. Last one, because you got to go and get your coffee because it is about 6:45 over where you are. You're about to go to training. I asked the cliched one at the end of these interviews, Trevor. It's your third year back. The Devils fans love you. What's your message for the Devils fans going into the new season?
Um, Obviously, I'm excited to be back. I think we've been putting together a great team. Um, I think a message a little bit outside the box, but I think a message for the Cardiff Devils fans was get outside, enjoy the rest of summer, and get off Twitter. The hockey season is right around the corner.
I think that's some pretty good advice, and I'm going to follow that myself, Trevor. Great to join you. Thank you for making yourself available so early, and gives me great pleasure to say welcome back to the Cardiff Devils.
Thanks, JD.